Let's try an example. We want to find the limits of integration in cylindrical coordinates for integrating a function f of r, theta, and z, these are our cylindrical coordinates, over the region D, bounded below by the plane z. So the z equals 0, and of course the plane z equals 0 is the xy plane. Bounded laterally by the circular cylinder, x squared plus y minus 1 squared plus 1, and that gives us a circle on the xy plane. And this circle just moves up, it continues, we end up with this cylinder. And bounded above by the parabolic equation, z is equal to x squared plus y squared, which is actually a circle with a radius of 0 at z equals 0 and a radius of 1 here. Let me draw this. Let's draw this. Let me switch to green. Okay, so what we have is the cylinder of the equation here, this equation right here, x squared plus y minus 1 squared plus 1. It is in the xy plane, it is a circle of radius 1, so it's this circle. And the circle continues up. I'm going to draw it. It actually continues up. I'm drawing it lightly in green. It just sort of continues up like this, which would actually give us a cylinder. We're looking at the intersection of these functions, which is why you see this sort of slice happening. But the cylinder would continue to come up like this. Okay. And then let me switch colors. I'm going to go with a red. Okay, and so let's look at this equation where z is equal to x squared plus y squared. Well, x squared plus y squared plus r squared is a circle. So if we think of r as the square root of z, we know that when z is 0, r is 0, and we just end up at the origin with a point. But then we start to, our circle grows, so we end up with sort of a bigger circle like this. And the circle is centered at the x-axis, the z-axis, and so my circle continues to get a larger radius as I increase in height. And I'm now going to just draw half of the circle. Well, I can, because it's getting cut off on the left, but you can just imagine that this circle would continue to grow. And what this circle is doing is it's cutting out sort of an elliptical shape here into the cylinder. And so we end up with this shape that we have right here, bounded on the top by this circle equation, bounded on the bottom by the xy plane, and bounded on the sides by this equation here, which is a circle, so creating a circular cylinder. So we can see I've drawn an arrow to this, which is our sort of really these circles that are cutting off. So this equation here cuts off the top, and then I put an arrow here with this equation here on the bottom is showing the shape of the base. So let's convert these two equations into cylindrical coordinates. So I'm switching to black. So the first one, we know that x squared plus y squared is r squared. So z is equal to r squared. That's a pretty straightforward one. This bottom equation, let's write it out. It's x squared plus y minus 1 squared is equal to 1. So we want to write this equation or convert it into cylindrical coordinates. So let's start by, let's expand the binomial y minus 1. And we get y squared minus 2y plus 1 is equal to 1. And let's subtract 1 from both sides, and we get x squared plus y squared minus 2y is equal to 0. And if we group x squared and y squared together, we know that x squared plus y squared is equal to r squared minus 2 times y, and we know that y is r sine theta, and that's equal to 0. So let me just mark those, that this x squared plus y squared, that's our r squared. I'm going to change colors here. And this y is the r sine theta. So what we want to do is we want to solve for r, which is what you generally do. You solve for r. And what we do is I'm going to say that r squared is equal to 2r sine theta. And if I divide both sides by r, I have r is equal to 2 sine theta. So this gives me an equation for r in terms of theta. We really want to write r as a function of theta. And so we come over here and we have the equation for this. The corresponding cylindrical equation is r is equal to 2 times the sine of theta. Okay, so now we want to look at our r, theta, and z, and we want to see what are the boundaries for these. So starting with r, our r is going to be between 0 and 2 sine theta. And theta, we can see that theta wraps all the way around. It actually really only has to go, here's 90 degrees, or pi over 2, and then it finishes itself off where we have, let me switch this, or I guess I'm in black. If I kept this going, this is the negative x-axis, so it sort of continues on this way to another 90 degrees. So it's theta is going to start at 0. It's between 0 and pi. And then z will start at 0, and it will reach up to a height of r squared. And what we see here is that the r squared, which is the height that z is approaching, is coming from the equation for z in terms of r, and r reaching a height of 2 sine theta is coming from the equation for r. So now let's write, how would we write our integral? This is a triple integral. And so if we have some function f of r, theta, and z, this is our integrand, we're also going to have it, we can say we're going to integrate this with respect to z, where z is going to go from 0 to r squared. And then we integrate with respect to r, and we have a r dr. And that multiplies that r into the integrand. And r is going to go from 0 to 2 sine theta. And then the last variable of integration is theta. And theta will start at 0 and end at pi. So there we have our setup showing our limits of integration for z, r, and d theta.